So, we're finally into the new year, and we are now eagerly awaiting a brand new season, albeit in about 10 weeks or something like that. So, let's have a chat, shall we? I want to be discussing what's going on here and going on into the future, but don't worry, it's nothing bad. With 2024 over and done with, I've realised it's been a while since I actually just stopped and chatted about the channel itself. It's hard to imagine that we'd come so far in just a couple of years, not using this bad boy whatsoever. I mean, look at the first video that I did. Hi folks, LawVS here. It looks completely generic. I mean, it's just not me. But since then, we've had 2 whole seasons of Formula One, and I'm really starting to get a really good understanding about what it takes to be a, bear with me, YouTube pundit. Now, I know that is a very unsavory term to use for one of these channels, but honestly, it's been an absolutely fantastic ride, and it's been such a thrill being followed by other creators in the space, getting to meet them in person, and just having general conversations with them, earning their respect. It's nice to have it within such a short space of time, and I have you to thank for giving me the platform and the attention and the time of day, so it's a joint effort. There you go. I'm amongst them, and I'm really happy. And the other main reason that I really wanted to start the channel is because, put simply, up until a couple of years ago, I really didn't have anybody in which to talk about Formula One with in real life and even online, because I come from a different completely sphere of the internet where Formula One isn't really talked about. I've made the jump over here, and now it's all about Formula One. Seriously, prior to Christmas 2022, I barely had anyone to chat F1 with. At school, I only had a couple of close friends whom I played Jeff Cramman's Grand Prix 4 with online, and then even Grand Prix 3. That shows how old I am on internet-based racing leagues. And here's how I knew that I was starved for actually talking amongst my peers about Formula One stuff. I was guesting an anime convention in Ireland many years ago, and then I spotted somebody in the dealer's room selling Fernando Alonso and Daniel Ricciardo keychains, and I was like, oh my god, you like Formula One! And I just exploded with delight, and we got talking, and now we're good friends. And shout out to Haley, by the way. And really, I should have seen that they were a fan of Formula One because, you know, they were wearing a Alonso Kimoa hat. So really, I should have seen that coming. And here we are. A couple of years ago, I decided to make Christian Horner proud and decided to give it a go. Now, in reality, I know that my takes and presentation and my environment isn't exactly the most professional going, and I know that people are pointing this out, and I know we need to get an electrician in, so I know I appreciate your concern. What you see in real life is what you get. I can assure you, if you meet me in the street, or at a Grand Prix event, or at a motor racing event or a museum, this is it. This is me. I just want to talk Formula One, dang it. And if I'm a little bit savory for your liking, then that's just me. I can only apologize that it isn't to your liking, but hey, I'm just being honest. I've been following Formula One since 1998, since I was 11 years old or something, and now I've got a platform in which to be able to talk Formula One every single day and make it my full-time job effectively. That's fantastic. And now I can actually put that to the test by saying that I am going to the 2025 Austrian Grand Prix. So I am going to be knocking around, but I'm not just going to be just dawdling around and just doing nothing. I got one of those experience tickets. So I am going to be making you proud and not just hamming it up or just having a holiday. No, I am going to be making plenty of content during that weekend and maybe getting to meet people and maybe getting some experiences behind the scenes or something like that, or maybe just even tell you whether or not that ticket is even worth it. It's something I'm really looking forward to. It's my first ever Grand Prix that I'm actually going to. I've been to the 2020 test in Barcelona. That was really cool. My wife got that for me as a Christmas present, and that was awesome. Then I've been to a couple of Silverstone test events, one of those where I basically heard on the grapevine that, oh, DC and McLaren are there. Then I think Fernando was there in a 2004 Renault, and then hearing Jenson Button going around in the BAR, that V10 Honda, man, it's something else. I could hear it from, I think it was just outside Woodcock. You just keep going, the Honda V10 back then was just punching it through the air. Oh, it was massive. Seriously. 2026, those engine sounds had better be really good. And then speaking of content, 2024 has been a fantastic year in terms of really seeing to it that this channel is something I wish to pursue with for the foreseeable future. It's not solely down to the fact that my videos are doing numbers and that people are willing to hear my constant professional yapping and whatnot. And the two best videos came about from my talk about Oscar Piastri being the ultimate rival to Max Verstappen, and I still really stand by that. Although I do think the end of 2024 was a little bit middling as far as I'm concerned. And then my theory about Carlos Sainz's revenge arc having begun. And I never expected that to get over 250,000 views. That's absolutely insane. I mean, I had no idea that Carlos Sainz would pull in that much interest. And here you go. I wish him well at Williams. And I mean, I don't think he's going to be winning world championships with the team, but I think he's not going to be disgracing himself whatsoever. I think he's going to have a good time. But either way, it's provided some sense of validation that what I am doing is reasonably acceptable and tolerated amongst the Formula One community. And it means that I can maybe look into doing this when I am approaching my 40s and maybe into my 50s if I'm extremely lucky and the opportunity comes along. But one thing it really means is I can continue to be around the house and be around my kiddo as they grow up, be there for all of the important milestones, do the pickups and drop-offs at nursery. It just means I'm there. It means I'm actually involved in my child's upbringing and I can just be present and there and understand them completely. And that makes me really, really proud as a father, a newly minted father. And I'm just really happy about that. And I can talk about my passions and I'm just really, really happy. And then this is the part that creators will then go on to talk about their Patreon or YouTube memberships for a couple of minutes and why they are important too. But I don't want to waste your time. So all I've got to say on the subject is that if you wish to support the channel, and that means I can continue to do this and basically live out one of my absolute dreams in life to talk about Formula One non-stop to anyone who will listen, then the links are down below in the pinned comment. It will really be appreciated. And that is that basically. There's an ever-growing Discord community, and there you go. But let's talk more about the channel itself and what I want to do with it for 2025. Now, I already touched upon it, but I'm planning to go to Spielberg for the Austrian Grand Prix and experience my first ever race in real life. Now, I'll be honest, I chose the Red Bull Ring because of the sprint events in Austria being really epic in previous years. And then guess what they go and do? They decide that for 2025, they're not going to do a sprint weekend. It's just going to be a standard one. That was one of the main reasons I decided to get tickets there, but it's okay. I've been to Austria before and I really, really liked it. And you just got to think about the Styrian Mountains. That is a really beautiful part of the world. I look forward to seeing some of you there. Let me know down in the comments if you're going to the Austrian Grand Prix. Maybe we can schedule a meetup or something like that. And like I said earlier, if you want to have a yap in real life with me, feel free to do so. I'd be more than happy. And then other than that, what I would like to do for 2025 is to maybe not spend so much time in my office just editing videos every single day. Sometimes I might just like to do some more content not on the ladder. And it's really surprised me in 2024. Whenever I've done content that hasn't been on the ladder, people freaked out that I breached containment. I didn't realize that this thing was such a comfort character. Well, don't worry. I will be sure if I'm going to be doing anything on location that I start and end the videos on here, so that means it doesn't completely alienate everybody. So we'll do a healthy compromise or something, kind of like what I did with the F1 exhibition. And what also I would really like to do is maybe go to some more events that are F1 themed, or maybe get some opportunities to go to some F1 factories or sponsors, or maybe just other creators and maybe doing some fun stuff at circuits or track days. And my main goal, not necessarily for this year, but for next year as well, is to really hopefully get a chance to be able to be inside a Formula One paddock and in the pit lane and in a team garage, so I can provide you out there a really immersive, informative and exciting experience. I can honestly say, if I get a chance to be in a Formula One team garage, I will be like a kid in a tuck shop. And that really just shows how old I am if I say tuck shop. But this is going on to one of my biggest pet peeves out there. You know, the one where Formula One teams and Formula One itself are offering passes to any celebrity or influencer that might have an opportunity to extend the sport's reach. And yet when they get there, they're either just on their phone, they take pictures without little information, and they are just present without really engaging in the sport. It's like they've been paid to be there, they're paid to drink and have a party. You know the ones, the specimens that we see on Martin's grid walk or something like Machine Gun Kelly or what have you. Now, I understand that celebrities in Formula One, they've been around since the 1960s. That's not going to go away, and it does have its importance. But in regards to social media and influencers, surely Formula One should be looking towards all of the content creators out there, not just myself, but anybody who has a modicum of interest in Formula One and a following within the sport to be able to be the right people in which to showcase how awesome the sport is and how good it can be to newcomers and make it more accessible. Because celebrities are all well and good. People like us might be able to have a better chance of getting more people into it. The everyman or something like that, or every woman or every person. And I feel you can get a lot more satisfaction from content if existing fans get the opportunity to provide F1 content that really gets stuck in with their own wheel knowledge and they can present stuff with a modicum of context and gusto. Yeah, okay, my own little bit of a mini rant over, but I just felt like I needed to say something, and I'm pretty sure that you can relate to it. Now, let's talk goals. I've mentioned this a few times before, but my aim for this year is to reach 100,000 subscribers before lights out in Melbourne this year. So basically, by the middle of March. And I can tell you that so far, the growth of this channel has been extremely remarkable. At the beginning of 2024, we stood at 30,794 subscribers. That in of itself was astonishing because I remember that at the beginning of 2023, we were at like something of like maybe a couple of thousand. And then at the end of 2024, New Year's Eve, we were at, and I can tell you, 92,499. So that is practically a 3-time increase, and that in of itself is astonishing. And I thank you for pressing that subscribe button. I love popping up in people's feeds randomly and just going, why is that guy on a ladder or something like that? I can always tell that a brand new person has arrived whenever they type that in the comments. And then I just go, and you've pretty much seen it, to contain my lofty thoughts. Yeah, that pretty much just sums up the kind of person I am. I don't expect that kind of growth again to get 3 times more subscribers than I had at the start of the year. But it's just really nice to know that my skill set is transferable from 2 completely demographics and 2 completely different genre. And then something what I really want to do for 2025, and if anyone is out there who can help, I would very much like to know, and I've got my business email on my main profile or something, I want to produce merchandise that is much more bespoke and high quality. That's not dissing my current store with Fourth Wall. It's a really good one. It's probably one of the best vendors that I've ever worked with, and the feedback from folks who have bought stuff from there has been really positive. But I feel like we can do better, and I want to make stuff that people actually want. You know the kind of stuff, not just this random water bottle or coaster with my logo on it or something like that. I want to do stuff that is a little bit more authentic with Formula One fans, stuff that people who love motorsport actually want. And one thing I definitely got inspired by from Tomo is making really good heavyweight apparel. So team gear, having a team cap, team shirt, team hoodie, anything else you can come up with, comments down below, that would be absolutely fantastic. I basically want to make LawVS like a team, something you see popping up every now and again, and just making some clothes that you would actually wear and that would actually last more than a year. That kind of stuff. Yeah, really good high quality hoodies. Now, for the eagle-eyed out there, quite a while ago, maybe a couple of months ago, I wore a purple and orange hoodie that was actually a test sample for a LawVS hoodie that was customized in the channel colors. Now, that was all well and good. It was fine. On the custom picker, I had to be a little bit fudgy with the colors and the placements and whatnot, but ultimately the quality just wasn't there. I was hoping to be able to do it via my Fourth Wall store, but unfortunately, it just started to get really bobbly and stuff within a couple of washes, and it was just really, oh no. And then the interior of it was white. It was just like, nah, I can't put that out there. I need to be working with merch manufacturers who can make stuff that will be really, really good. And yeah, it might mean that it might cost more than the average YouTuber merch hoodie. But one thing is for sure, I'm not going to be like Palm Angels or Reese and McLaren's collaboration where a random t-shirt with a tiny little logo on it is 100 quid. What? That is just, no. It's going to be reasonably priced, but not bargain basement or something like that. A nice little compromise. A happy medium, or, as my French teacher would put it, a content clairvoyant. Now, everything else I want to do with the channel is gained mainly from pure experience and repetition, making it so I can make my content faster to produce, better to look at, and listen to. Because by the way, you don't just have to watch my ugly mug to be able to get your daily F1 news. If you use something like Spotify, Apple Music, or what have you, I do make an audio version of the videos that you see every day available, so that means people can listen to it on the train to work, or the train somewhere else, or the car, or on a plane to download and listen to later. Okay. So one thing I really want to do, and this is not exclusive to 2025, is to get on the Sky Sports podcast and have a little yapping session with Nico Rosberg. I would love that. Or even Jenson Button. I'm not picky. Any Formula One driver I get a chance to talk to, I am more than happy to do so. And I would just like to meet JB in real life and just go, hey, Jenson, are you okay, mate? You've been through a lot this year, and you can probably understand why he might be a little bit tense as of late. Oh, no, yeah, Bernie Collins. I would really like to meet her as well and chat with her. In fact, I actually did try and get an interview with her, and they didn't automatically have people say no. It's just that she was busy. And to be fair, that was during that period in the season that she was really going to every single Grand Prix. So maybe I should try again. Maybe we might be able to get an interview with her for the channel. That'd be really cool. That, and maybe chatting to Nicola Hume, who's the presenter on the Red Bull podcast, and she does other car reviews online. She's pretty great too. And I feel like our vibes are similar. I think we gel really well. So that's another one. Oh, and drivers. Don't get me started about drivers. And I did joke about this on social media, is that if they ever had an opportunity to meet Gabriel Bortoleto, I would bring some Lego and say, hey, Gabby, I bought a Lego. I just lost all my Brazilian fans, didn't I? Sorry. I'm a dad. Dad jokes, I can't stop. Honestly, any chance to be able to talk to a driver, be they a current one or former one, or one that is slowly climbing up the junior ranks, that'd be really cool. Because I just want to have a more relaxed, conversational type of interview where I actually get to know them as people. Because one thing I've learned being a compere and an interviewer is that you want to get people talking about themselves, and they will easily open up and be a lot more comfortable in terms of, chatting with people. Don't just talk about racing, talk about them. Now, before I go, I just thought I'd share a funny story from before I made the channel itself. I actually applied for a job with Formula One itself in their creative department over at Biggin Hill. Yeah, this was something I did back in 2021 or something when the world was starting to open up again. I think this was right before the 2022 season. I saw that there was a job going for the creative department within Formula One, doing some editing for some programs and what have you, and some of their content that would go online. And I was like, you know what? I'm not really applied for a job because I've been doing loads of YouTube for like 5 years at that point. I was just thinking, let's do a cheeky pun. Let's see if I've still got it. So I put in my application, my resume, I updated it slightly, didn't really think much of it. And then suddenly, about 2 weeks later, I was walking the dog, and suddenly I saw that I got a missed call, and I got an email from Formula One in Biggin Hill, and they were like, yeah, we'd like to schedule an interview. And I was just like, I rushed back home, I called them, we scheduled one on Microsoft Teams, and I got to meet their creative team, and that was really, really cool. And I felt like, wow, that's really great. I managed to make it to interview. Unfortunately, it didn't go any further than that, because it became really clear that what I had visioned for the job and what they had in mind were two different things. They were mainly focusing on an editor to make F1 TV stuff like documentaries and short shows. I was mainly thinking they would be wanting stuff for the YouTube channel, because they were really starting to grow that, and it's a really healthy channel, because I remember that F1 YouTube channel back in the Bernie Eccleston days. It was so dry. Now, completely different story. If there's one thing Liberty Media has done well, is how to have a good social media presence. It was something that wasn't meant to be. The perks were really cool. I won't go into detail, but they would have been really, really nifty. And it would have been a really cool opportunity to just drive to Biggin Hill, which is not that far away from where I live, and be able to work in the epicenter of Formula One, and also get to meet the drivers, because they would have been there to film all of their segments, their grill, the grids, all that stuff. I didn't get that job, so here I am. But anyway, I won't take up any more of your time with what I have to say, but thank you very much for hearing my yapping. And if you'd like to stick around a little bit more, then thank you very much. And maybe go and have a look at this video here, because I think, and YouTube thinks, this might be to your liking.